Welcome to another video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 3 new features that you might not have noticed that have been implemented on YouTube and how you can use these features to grow your following. I'm Steven Su. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, you know what to do. Like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. Let's jump into the video. The first feature that we're seeing here is the new genres and topics that is appearing on the YouTube homepage. The YouTube homepage has changed so much for the last 10 years. And it's actually pretty interesting to see them implement this new change. Normally when you log on to youtube.com, the first thing that shows up is going to be the recommended section. But what we're seeing now is that they're also showing some topics/genres of content that you like to see and topics that you normally watch. And what this tells us is that YouTube is definitely trying to, for one thing, trying to see if this feature can be beneficial for both the audience and for them, and also to gather more data. Because what they're going to see is that when you click into the genre, you'll actually see videos that are listed there. And depending on which videos that you click, that feeds back to YouTube's algorithm, telling them whether or not their genre system is recommending the right type of content. So all this is used to kind of for their baseline, and their baseline is to increase the amount of watch time, increase the amount of time you're just spending on YouTube in general. That's one of the reasons why they implemented this new section, is because it allows for YouTube to understand your viewing habits more, to recommend content easier to you, and also for them to see whether or not they will be able to increase the amount of watch time and increase the amount of videos that you're watching. Overall, I think this is pretty interesting because this is just more data that YouTube can gather. And if they decide to implement this function, it's likely that they find there's some benefit in terms of using this form of categorization and continuing to allow the right videos to be recommended on the platform. Alright, the second feature, which I'm really excited about, is the table of contents/timestamp feature that has been implemented on certain videos. And I'm going to use this video as an example because I really like watching that content, of course. But what we can see here is that usually if you want to have timestamps, let's say you want you want your audience to watch a certain part of the video, you can put in the time, let's say 3 minutes and 16 seconds. And then the viewer can actually click on that part, click on that timestamp, and they'll jump to that part of the video. That has been a feature for a while already on YouTube. But what we're seeing now is that this is actually being integrated into the YouTube video player itself. And you can see if I hover over this section here, you can see that the table of contents show up, and it actually even says what the story is. And I think that's awesome. It's definitely, I actually think that the YouTube player is kind of lagging behind a little bit in comparison to, let's say, Netflix, which they have really streamlined their video player to a point where it's like, skip intro, you know exactly what to do. But it's really interesting to see YouTube implement these features and allow creators to let people jump from one video to another as seamlessly as possible. Now, of course, we need to think, why is that useful? Well, that's because of the fact that by having this function, what ends up happening is if you are bored and say you don't want to click on this video, or you're getting bored of this part of the video, you can actually just click on that part and skip to the other part. You can even see what the story is instead of leaving the video. So overall, leaving the video is the worst case scenario for YouTube's bottom line and for YouTube's algorithm. So by implementing these timestamps and this table of contents feature, it allows for you to have a higher chance of people staying and watching your content. And of course, leveraging this will be useful because you can function, you can have more sections. For example, this video that I'm making right now, if it has 3 features and you're bored of the first one, you can actually skip to the second one, and instead of just leaving the video as a whole. And of course, let me know if you've seen these features, if you're like, oh, I've already seen that, or and let me know how you think you can use this when it comes to you being a consumer and also you being a creator on the platform. All right, so the last feature here that I want to talk about is going back to the community tab. And the community tab has been implemented for almost 2 to 3 years now, and it's going to be more widespread. You can see my channel has it as well. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that the community tab and posts is starting to appear way more on the YouTube homepage as well. And we're talking about after 2 sections. You can see that there's a section dedicated to the community tab posting. And why is this interesting and why am I even talking about this? It's because of the fact that if they're implementing this, it means that they're really pushing for more community posting. They're pushing for engagement, they're pushing for more posting from both sides, the creator and the consumer. So as a result, if this is something that you have, a feature that you have, because I know not everybody has it, you definitely want to use it as much as possible and specifically use the different ways, whether it's uploading an image. I found that GIFs work really well, or GIFs, they work really well as well. And also doing polls just so that you're using the most out of this feature. As YouTube sees consumers interact with these posts more and more, they are going to recommend them more as well. And that way they'll gather more data, they'll feed it back into the algorithm, and they will know what community posts to recommend to your audience and what community posts to recommend to you for the content that you consume. That is it for today. Those are the 3 features that are fairly new, especially some of the first ones. Of course, I always lead with the most interesting ones. That's fairly new to the platform. Please let me know what you think in terms of these features. Have you seen them before? Are you going to implement them when you have access, or have you been implementing them already? And let me know like what's it's been like in terms of the accuracy for those genre sections, because I'm definitely really curious to see how accurate they are when it comes to recommending content and clicking on those ones. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more, I've linked some of the other videos that I've made in the past on the end screen as well. I've done a ton of different content before. I've been on the platform for almost 10 years. If you're still watching right now, you're probably one of the only few people who remember the first videos that I've posted way back in the day, or you might not even be here anymore because of YouTube's, how strong YouTube's algorithm is. But yeah, check out the other videos if you want. Otherwise, and remember to like and subscribe for another video. I'm thinking of making another one maybe next week. So let me know.